I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like, I was really into figuring out how to make meth for a while. Not for the purposes of selling it, but just like...
I disavow what Muta is saying.
Hello and welcome to Real Weird Sickos. My name is Tom Videoga, and I welcome you to the first recorded episode of 2022 in this lovely new world that we're living in right now. You know who's also my loveliest friend? My friend Charles Carr. Charles, what's happening, mate?
Well, brother, let me tell you something. I might be a masked bastard, but I am not a bastard. All right, let me tell you, those rumors are all bullshit.
Anyone who talks in hyperbole, they're all criminals. But you know who's not a criminal? That's my dearest friend, dearest Jen. Jen, how you doing, matey?
Oh, I missed this. I missed this. We're a little rusty, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And I love how you said this is the first recorded episode because we still have 2 episodes that we need to get out that we did last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hope everybody's excited for those Christmas episodes.
Exactly. Beef Semba is a continuing. It's a state of mind.
I take back everything I said about Dungeons and Dragons getting out their gift set in February.
It's true. It's
Should have known.
But you know who's also always out giving gifts? Jen, who would that be? Who would that be?
Are you
Who's
trying
the
to
gift
say
giver?
he's like Santa?
Exactly. Well, he's got a beard and he's jolly. Most of them.
What is that? Okay, so everybody that has a beard has to be Mutahar because like
Let's
Santa?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Congratulations on the copyright on beards, Muta. How we doing, matey?
It was a long time coming, but we did some fucking shenanigans to get that going.
We look up beards in the dictionary. Right there's Muta.
Exactly.
There was a lot of blackmail we had to do to get that going. I'll be honest with you.
Hey.
Some real MPAA shit.
Absolutely. That's Hollywood and that's business. That's a business, matey. But yes, I will say big congratulations to you starting off the SomeOrdinaryGamer podcast popping off.
Thank you.
How's that? How's that journey to coming to fruition?
Oh, it's good. We got a bunch of guests on. We just had Hassan Piker on after his gracious ban for being a notorious racist.
Exactly, against those
I
fucking
know how that
crackers. Those disgusting crackers.
Fucking crackers, man! I'm telling you.
You didn't even say it. Like, that was an interesting episode. It was probably a little bit. It went a little bit nicer than I thought it would go for some reason. I don't know.
Wait, he didn't say the C word?
Oh yeah, well, you were thinking that I was gonna shit on him the entire
I knew
time.
you weren't going to, but like,
We're like frat
hey,
bros.
I
What the
literally
fuck?
gave you the C word pass and you didn't even say it.
Yeah, it's because Cracker doesn't punch that
Exactly.
hard.
Cunt is
doesn't.
far punchier.
I think
Yeah.
Honky's probably
Yeah.
a little bit spicier.
Like, if I'm gonna go, so is Ice Chimp's probably the fucking toughest.
I feel like I always got hit
Ice
with
chip just
peckerwood.
sounds like it's like I just think of like an Arctic blue like gorilla. That's just what I think of.
Yeah.
It seems like it's nice.
A peckerwood. Peckerwood always hit me like, what are you guys trying to call me here?
What does
Like,
that even mean? I know
Yeah,
it's
what's
from
a
like
peckerwood?
I know it's like from the 50s because I heard it on
Like
like
a woodpecker. Like a woodpecker.
But
You
what
see,
does that
it's
even mean? Like peckerwood?
I know,
That could be like derogatory
Yeah,
against
I've
a gay
only
guy.
seen it in like prison. Like I've
Well,
seen
I
it in like
assume
prison
that's-
tattoos.
I assume that's what they really meant, you know.
That they're gay, like peckerwood.
Well, no, they were calling me that.
Pecker.
So I was
You
in
talking
musical
about Pecker?
theater.
Got a little Peckerwood action there.
Maybe it's just
Exactly.
anything that has like a hard R, quote unquote, like sounds bad.
works in Peckerwood and
Peckerwood
accessories. I tell you what.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's no good slur to white people. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You guys are like lacking in there.
we're really invested in the English language and we really protected ourselves on that one.
We're
It was kind of
Yeah,
a-
what
we're
happened to
gatekeeping
Hillbilly?
the fuck out of that.
What happened
Exactly.
to Hillbilly? Redneck. Like, those are great. Like, you listen to any New Jack promo. I know, Jen. I know. We said no wrestling. Listen to any New Jack promo from Smoky Mountain Wrestling in 1992, and he goes off about how much he hates white people and how rednecks are the worst. Devils, calls them devils.
White Devil's a good, you know what? White
And he
Devil.
shouts out to O.J. Simpson, that's 2 less we got to worry about. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of these, in wrestling, Smoky Mountain, like he actually mentioned that, like he praised O.J. Simpson for killing those
Shut
those
the
dirty
fuck
cracker.
up. I never knew that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah. You can see he's
Yeah,
looking
what?
around. He sort of like shifts his eyes like he's like, am I really about to say this shit?
Yeah. The original
And then he
gangsters
just
were pushing
goes for it.
boundaries. Because they literally felt like back in those days,
Right.
they were pushing it to get heat, like because they were the
Yeah, he
original
was-
gangsters.
Yeah, he
Jack.
was told to go out and get nuclear heat. Just go out and make people as mad as possible because they were in Tennessee, which, Tennessee. And so he would go out and just talk mad shit.
Yeah.
And
what I actually did learn, they were like actually like they were actually talking a bunch of shit. They were talking a bunch of shit about West Virginia.
Yeah.
They were talking a lot of shit about West Virginia, Charles. They were saying like literally,
West
yeah,
Virginia?
like you literally crossed the border.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you cross the border and it's fucking no man's
Dun,
way. Look,
dun,
I'm not recanting on that shit whatsoever.
all right.
You go to West Virginia, you go to like fucking any place in northeastern US, it's fucking dog shit, okay?
What's some weird
You
stories
know-
from your journeys down there, Mr. Muta?
My journey, I was staying in a hotel that I'm pretty sure like I was the only one that wasn't operating a meth lab in there in Ohio. That's what I know.
Well, that's probably true. That's in Ohio,
Yeah.
though. Ohio's not West Virginia.
Well, I was in a place in Akron, and like, so Akron, Ohio, for those of you who have no idea watching, Akron, Ohio is like hell on earth. Like, it is, in fact, like a fucking shithole.
Yeah.
People over there will tell you it's a shithole, too. Like, this isn't just me bad mouthing them. But, like, so when I went over there, it was like, I think like almost every night, like a cop showed up, you know? Like, there was a cop constantly showing up. So, like, one night I just go outside, I'm like, you know, I'm just going to speak to the fine officer. I'm going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's telling me, yeah, you know, we hear reports like prostitution and meth labs out here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, meth labs. Like, the prostitution I can understand because it's a hotel and everything. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a local economy. But, like, the meth lab was like, damn, dude.
I'll tell you what it is.
These ice chimps fuck up once, I'm screwed.
There was a
I'm
good
blowing
old
up.
boy told me that he thought that guys were into it because it's the same kind of thing. Like the fellas cooking up their own moonshine. It's the same kind of setup where that's what they're up to. They want to make their own outlaw stuff.
But on such a like an area that is rental, that's going to be an interesting thing because like that fucking reminds me of like the Payday 2 level for Hotline Miami. We all making meth in a fucking hotel. I was like, shit, Muta, you just lived that experience. So congratulations.
I feel like I did. I feel like we've survived the fucking death on that one. Like, again, it's such a tough chemical to work with. Like, I remember I'm like, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like, I was really into figuring out how to make meth for a while, not for the purposes of selling it, but just like
I disavow what Muta is saying. Disavow.
Listen, when I was on the deep web stuff, there was this book I downloaded, right? And this was like Uncle Fester's methamphetamine guide. So the reason why this book is important is it's kind of like the Quran for methamphetamine producers all around the fucking US. You know, like there's always this PDF sitting around. So I opened the PDF and it's got all the information I ever need, like what kind of beaker you're going to get, like fucking, the exact temperature, like here's how you source the materials. Oh, the US banned the material. Here's some fucking substitutes, okay? Like some Betty Crocker shit. It's like the Betty Crocker fucking guide on how to make good meth. And so I like finished the whole thing and now I'm like, I would consider myself a pretty good expert on like the production of like illegal narcotics, but that's generally the one thing that I know. So when I was staying there, I was like, man, these motherfuckers fuck up once, like once,
And it's gone.
It's lights out.
Gone. Like, yeah, exactly. It's the quickest fucking explosion ever. Like you're just immediately at God's doorstep.
It's
You
like,
have
man,
to have to figure that like it does like happen. You know what? It's weird. Like I've smelled meth cooking.
yeah.
If
you go,
yeah, that's a pretty normal occurrence.
I've done
seriously,
that
if you
'cause I live in
if you go
shitholes.
out towards like the desert, like Joshua Tree, if it's past like Palm Springs and like you're going like way down there, like Joshua Tree's like really, really hippied out now. It's like it's like a hipster place to live. But before that,
It's no meth anymore. Meth is gone.
pretty
now.
much like before that, if you drove past there, you would just like smell like weird, like it's almost a cross between like chemicals and like a toilet. Okay. It's
Exactly.
really,
It's septic
it's a
tank.
fucking weird smell. And it's like, what the hell is that? And it's like, oh, it's all the meth labs that are like underground. There's like a lot of underground meth labs here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Underground?
It's Vietnam
like,
too.
what is this Breaking Bad shit? Like, but you can't drive past there now. You don't smell that anymore because it's like hippies have taken over and they pay a lot of money to go sleep out in the desert. And I don't fucking understand it.
The gentrification of
Yeah,
the
because
meth
they
areas.
mask
paying-
the smell.
they're paying
They
money
mask
to
the
go
meth
out there?
smell with the hippie smell.
Exactly.
The
It's a
hippie smells
musk.
bad.
Yeah.
It's
The hippie smell like masks the meth
It
smell.
does.
So it's it's a very ingenious way for the cartels to like, fucking.
They fucking did it, didn't they? Did it.
They've
it was
done
them.
the math. They figured out how many hippies they need to mask the smell. It's like if we get 5
hippies. They have like
hippies.
the best scientists. They flew into Mexico super labs, and they're just like, well, we've got 6 hippies that can counteract 1 batch of meth.
I need 2.5 Burning Man's worth of hippies.
I mean, did you
Some-
run into
some
any
Gustav
actual
guy.
like meth heads though in Ohio?
Oh, yeah, it's Ohio. Of course.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
You know, by the
I had
teeth.
one dude come up to me. It's like, can I use your phone? I'm like, no. Can I make a call? No.
That happened to me
Like,
weeks
whoa.
ago.
What if he just grabbed the phone? Is like, sayonara, see you later. Bye.
I mean, like, if he grabbed the phone and started, like, fucking climbing up walls, then I guess I'm going to Apple the next day and I'm buying a new phone.
Fucking stuck
Right?
Spider-Man
Like,
on everything.
He just Jackie Chan's his way up the wall.
Yeah. Well, I remember asking the cop, I'm like, how many rounds does it take to down a method? Immediately, he's like, full mag.
Oh,
Full mag.
Into the
shit.
method. I'm like, oh, shit. That's how fucking strong they are.
Because they've
Yeah.
I'm like, what if
meth destroys
What are they
like
mixing into the
about
meth?
PCP. The
Oh.
PCP would cause guys to go like superhuman.
But what about
Oh,
crack?
They melts them down.
Like, I know like meth is probably insane, but like, what about crack? Like, where does that rank up on like strength?
I don't think it's a lot. I think it's more more of a
Yeah.
head high than a physical.
Mm.
Is it though?
I think I don't know. I mean, like, you want to do the experimentation? We go to like South Los Angeles.
Yeah.
and just do,
Well,
like,
we
crack
we
run
did.
wild.
We found one there. Well, we
Oh
found
yes.
crack.
The
I don't know if that man was on crack though. I think that man was just having a good time washing his
think he was
ass.
high on
He
straight
was
shell.
just out on the
A
street
street
washing
show.
it.
It's it. Listen, I respect him. Okay, he had the full American spirit. Like fucking. I listen. In a lot of ways, like when I was flying back, I thought about the existentialism of that entire scenario. I'm like, that man's living his free
Well,
life.
now
I'm one of the slaves to the system. He's washing his
Yeah.
everybody
asshole.
needs like the whole rundown of that.
Did he have a water hose?
No, it's a
No.
tap.
So I'll tell you what happened. So like fucking, we were pulling in, and immediately I thought it was like Oki for a second.
Okay,
So I was like,
wait,
oh, shit, you
hold
wanna
on. Time out. I will
Wait,
give
did he have a
background.
knife?
No, I'll give background context to that he thought he was Oki. Oki was leaving his shit everywhere. This is VidCon weekend. He was leaving his shit everywhere. The night before, when I drove him and like Ghost Scum and Technicals and Slush back to their Airbnb, like that's 17 minutes away from me, right? Like their Airbnb. I got off the exit, was at the first light after the exit that night. Like Oki was pretty wasted. And then like Technicals messages me and he goes, hey, yo, I think Oki left his phone in your car. And I turn around, it's fucking lit up in the backseat. And I was like, God damn it. So he was leaving his shit everywhere. So the next day in the group chat, he left his, I think it was bag. He was like, yo, Muta, I left my bag at your house and everything. He didn't actually say that.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like that either. Sorry, Oki.
Racist.
Is he doing the
And he's
Jerry
like,
Lewis
"Get it
move?
back
Where Jerry Lewis would leave
anytime."
the tape recorder?
So he was leaving his stuff everywhere. So like after Justin Wing's show on Saturday night, like he's like thinking this guy's okay. Okay, so now you can tell I had to give the full
Yeah.
perspective.
All right, so you
Prequel.
assume
The
it was
prequel
friend of the
for
show,
sure.
Oki, out there.
Yeah. Well, so anyways, yeah, we pull in. I see this like, figure, this like darkened figure in the distance. And I'm like, oh, it must be Oki. He's got like, he's getting his bag, I guess. So we're driving in, we're pulling in. It was not fucking Oki, that's for sure.
Oh,
This motherfucker had no pants on. Like, we're talking,
Bird
you
out.
could see. No, he had his balls out, and then like the dude was squatting, like he was squatting. So I'm like, oh, this is Los Angeles. It ain't fucking Calcutta. What the fuck's going on here? So like, he's got like the water on, and I'm like, oh no fucking way, he's washing his asshole. And like, we pull up, he gives us a stare back, we stare back at him, and like, you're not gonna get out of your car and be like, get out of here, I mean, the motherfucker could stab you, you
Get out of
could,
here,
like, bite
ball
on you, you
washer.
could be infected. So eventually he washed his ass. Like he enjoyed washing that asshole.
He gave you
And
like
then
such
he-
strong eye contact while he was doing it.
he did the whole Tariq Nasheed, the wash your ass.
He did. He was washing that fucking, and he left a little puddle behind too.
Okay,
and
but like, here's the thing: like, you didn't have to step in it, but you realized you stepped in it after you stepped in
Oh
it.
no.
Oh, no.
You stepped in
I
ass
know.
water?
I was like fucking suited up and like nice clothes, and I'm like, fuck, man, this guy's like, ugh. And then he darted off into the distance, and it was whatever.
He
Like,
scampered
fine.
off.
Return
No,
back
you
to
went
his
to like
natural
close
habitat.
the gate immediately because at that, okay, this was like this Airbnb was sick. Like it was a big. The house was like super sick. But the thing about it is like the doors didn't lock.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That scuffed as fuck.
Sure.
It's less of a house, more
place.
of a shelter.
They were like, it wasn't working. So it's like where the door and where the faucet was maybe like 5 feet away from each other. So like where he was bathing was 5 feet away from the door, which was unlocked because it had a gate on the side, but you had to like close the gate. So when we were pulling up with the gate open, that's when it was just kind of like, what do you mean the door doesn't lock? Like, and that was scary because it was like, what if he had actually been in the house?
True.
Muta comes in and he's like, hey, buddy, you using the shower to wash your ass there?
No, he probably would have.
I mean, I would have preferred to use the fucking shower. Like, shit,
what if he would have?
Nice
what if he would have done it in the sink? Because like the kitchen was like right there. If he was squatting over the sink.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I'm glad the lights were left on, so he probably thought someone was sitting inside there, you know?
That's true.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, I don't know.
How dirty must that guy's ass have been that he needed to clean it right then and there in the middle of the street?
Well, it was in our house. So.
It
Or
wasn't
inside
in the middle of the
on
street.
the
Like, you had to
Airbnb
pull-
property.
You had to pull like all the way up like this long ass driveway, and it was like kind of like tucked in, so it wasn't like out in the open. Like this guy just went up like looking for a faucet and found it. He's probably done it before. I bet you he like knows where all the faucets are in the neighborhood. And this is like down the street from like old like Team 10 house.
He's like George with the map of bathrooms. He has a map of where the faucets
he knows.
are.
And
He's
he
like,
knew
this
we
is a
were
guy
there.
who has a dirty
he could hear
ass.
us talking in the car, and he still didn't leave until he was fucking done.
And at that point, you had to give him some credit.
He was having a good time.
Exactly. You know, you have to give him man credit for washing his ass that thoroughly. And it is a level of respect. A level of respect. At least he cleaned his ass. And you know what? At the end of the day,
But like, think about it. That man's living a free life. I'm a slave to the global system.
Yeah, look at you wearing your pants.
I know. This guy was like, he was pantless, running around, living his free life, using water from other people.
I don't know.
And what could I have said? I don't know.
He was yelling at himself. He just walked. That scared me a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jen. No matter how mad Muta might have been,
the fact that he was half naked washing his ass.
He was, like,
the fact that he was talking to
but he was getting loud like as he was leaving. So I was just kind of like, I don't know if he's gonna like run back. Like I don't know what's gonna happen here. That was scary.
no matter how mad you were at him, he was so much more mad at himself.
Exactly.
I'm arguing.
He was mad. He was mad at the system, is what he was.
You know what?
We were just slaves to it.
Exactly. We live in a society in two forms. You know, washing
we
ass
live in a
and not
society,
washing ass.
all right.
Exactly. You got to clean that bussy up. But speaking of bussy, but speaking of the freshest bussy in all the land, I want to talk about your podcast and how that like kind of came together. I know it's the boy Nux and Oompa. So what was kind of the concept? Like you this kind of grouping together. What was the driving force behind you starting the potty?
Well, for me, it was like we kind of had this idea for months for a while, just kind of brewing inside our head or whatever. And like eventually there was podcast networks that were trying to like poach me specifically, so because they looked at my video content and they were like, "Oh, your video content's very similar to like podcast highlights, so you could succeed." Because obviously, like I kind of just
he's a talker.
Yeah, so they were like, "Oh, you want to do a podcast?" So like we started getting these podcasts, like guys coming up to us, like these big fucking networks, the guys who basically run every other podcast. And they were giving us like really fuck you deals to us because we looked at the math, we looked at everything. Like I wouldn't have known this, but my management they worked with these guys that were poaching me beforehand. So I went to them. I'm like, "So are these numbers normal?" They're like, "No, you're getting screwed." Bro. So we were like, all right, fine. Am I getting screwed if they do all the work for me? Truth is, they don't really do a whole heck of a lot of work. So we ended up getting everything in-house. We brought like our own guys over. And then I went to like Oomp and Nux because I was like, you got to have like hosts that you can vibe with. And these are good friends.
Absolutely.
And also, it's like their channels, we're not like dependent on one another, for like views and like relevancy or something. So it's like we're all on equal footing. We all like fucking have something to bring to the table. And that's just how we went with it. And now it's like a venture that we hope to fucking take things further and like expand upon it. But yeah, it really was like, it was a complicated mess because when we first started out, the logistics of getting everything solved out, and it wasn't like, oh, we find these guests or whatever. It was like getting together, recording, having the editors. And it's like now you're on par with like every other major podcast. So like if you come out of the gates and you don't swing in terms of having like an infrastructure, like a podcast channel, like a, channel and like clips channels and like branding and all of that, you're already shooting yourself into the foot. So we're in the trial phase for now, but we're trying to like, obviously see how we can be in comparison to like every other person on the market. But it's been kind of like a professional endeavor, but done by absolute like crackheads on the internet, I guess.
Well, that's the way it's got to be sometimes. You got to have that pilot season essentially getting stuff sorted. But from I think you guys have had an amazing kickoff point. Like from the episodes forward, like I was literally sitting playing Cyberpunk and I was just listening to the podcast, and it just set the mood properly. Like it just became just a click moment. It's been good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the thing is we're just getting guests that we know we're good friends with for now. So it's like maybe it gets kind of tough because I remember with the Hassan episode, and he's like a cool guy, but like I think the way that Hassan episode played out was so different than what I had in my head, because it was like he's a political guy, so obviously you're kind of like your comment sections are shitted up entirely by like one side or the other.
Yeah,
it is like
absolutely
the Hassan Piker comment section, like I'll scroll by that sometimes. It's a fucking nuclear wasteland. It's like fuck Hassan, I fucking hate these. I fucking hate these liptards, and I'm like, all right, shit, what the fuck? But like, the reason why I even got him was it's not because like Hassan was popular, or like nobody comes on because they're popular. So like we had Critical on because we're good. I'm good friends with like Charlie, so it's like, yeah, he's a cool guy. Like whatever. We had like Carson on because we've done videos with Carson, so it's like come on. Coffee's obviously me and him are good friends, so he came on, and then like Hassan, it's like we're complete fucking frat brothers. Like even when we were in Los Angeles, we were just like talking, because the only interaction me and Hassan ever have is not ever about politics. It's about like finances. So we like talk about stocks and fucking business deals and shit like that.
Absolutely.
So it's like completely different than what anybody expects. But it's like if you have a guest on that that you can have a conversation with that isn't what everyone expects, I think that's the most important aspect, right? Like there's got to be an aura of current events, obviously, but like I think the best conversations are the ones where it's like it's all driven entirely by like the people that it's better if it's like the people don't just meet that day.
Exactly. If they have a chemistry
show
going forward, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's kind of a little bit disjointed, but it's understandable. But I think a lot of people have kind of I think one of the most popular podcasts I know that are kind of conglomerates was like Sleepy Cabin, that kind of was kind of a shooting off point that everyone listened to, is like, oh, we can have a group podcast that kind of works kind of incongruent of each other, but still kind of is evergreen, essentially. People can come back and listen to stuff, because I hate super topical stuff. That stuff ages like dirt, but when you have something that people have chemistry and talking, it always works. Absolutely. But it's fantastic news about here.
It's the thing about anything that I've ever listened to, and I feel like it's like really like overly produced. I don't like them. I don't like the things that are just too like pounded into the ground, and it has to be. I would rather just listen to conversations that some of it is just like offhand bullshit than we're gonna go down the line and talk about all this. No, fuck off. I don't want. Who wants that? Like nobody wants that. Nobody actually really wants that.
Yeah. So I always make notes and then toss them out.
Exactly, and make a wrestling reference.
Right. I don't know why, but like today, my only note that ever kicked on the entire day was EDP. All of a sudden, something about EDP just kicked into my head. He just kept showing up in my recommended. So
I think it's people were talking about like what was like the spiciest drama of last year, and people were talking about EDP a lot this morning.
EDP's a fucking weird ass fella. He's not arrested or anything, is he?
No,
he's not.
Fucked up his investigation.
And the thing about it is, and when people wanted to talk about it being like a drama, I don't even like classify it as like drama. Exactly. I don't classify it as so much as like a drama as in like he's a fucking criminal. Yeah. Like there's a difference between drama and this is actually kind of like a serious thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like this guy was trying to get laid with like kids, right? Like he was doing.
Oh, he's trying to get a cup.
He's trying to get a cup.
Exactly. What was the story exactly? Like somebody out there has no idea who EDP is. Jen, what does EDP stand for?
I actually don't know. What does it stand
for?
Eat that pussy, faux.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
That was really the fella's name.
I didn't even know.
He's a large fella who had a YouTube channel. It was like a sports fan or something.
I think so. I think he
Wasn't
made
that what
some
he got over
Vine or
with?
some shit. Like he seems like he's got a distance back enough where he was like, "Yo, this is your boy, eat that pussy 445," and then a tangent would kind of kick off from there. And that's like he was just wearing like a sports jersey and he was talking about how he shitted himself or some fucking shit.
And a couple of guys were doing some kind of, I don't know what you call that, like a Chris Hansen entrapment thing.
Yeah.
It's like, look at us, aren't we virtuous? We catch pedophiles. We catch guys that want little kids. Aren't we cool? Look at us.
And yeah, those guys, they got shit.
They did not fuck around. They were going for it,
Yeah, and I will say that one moment when EDP goes out to ask for a handshake and he just gets fucking denied, it just rained through. It's like, oh, this is a situation at the moment. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's the one that got busted. They asked him, "It's like, you know, this was a kid, right?" Oh yeah.
Do.
But
Yeah,
it came back
What the
up.
hell?
Like people were talking about it because obviously everybody was going through what was like the biggest shit of last year of 2021, and it's kind of like, I kind of feel like as far as 2022 goes, I think as far as like drama is concerned, I think there's going to be like a pretty big shift. I think it's not going to be. It'll be the same because like every year they're like, okay, everybody's gonna be like, okay, so we're not gonna really like touch on pedophiles, but like for some reason pedophiles always come up. They're always gonna come up because it's the internet. So
Chris Hansen, that Chris Hansen thing is still hot. People still talk about that. People
nobody
love
really
those
talks
clips.
that much about Chris Hansen anymore.
Well, not Chris Hansen in particular, but that style of to catch a predator. They love that show. Those clips still.
Those are the
get
best.
played.
Okay, but like, can we just talk about those
Go ahead,
for a
have a
second?
seat.
Those are like my favorite. Like,
He says his name is Eat That Pussy. We determined that was a lie. He had inside his backpack razor blades, condoms, and a single half-eaten package of Rolos.
The chicken ones.
What do you mean by eat that pussy? I was reading your chat logs and it said you want to spread your butt. You want to spread the butt cheeks.
You want to eat
Explain
some
what you
milk
meant
and
by
cookies?
that?
I have some milk and cookies right here if you'd like some.
You said she's going to make them cookies and I'm going to be Santa Claus. Were you going for a festive theme today?
And you see, you always see the guy like shake like a leaf. When he walks in, he gets like,
Yeah.
He's like, oh fuck, not today.
except for the one
The
guy who
best-
just sat down and started eating cookies, and he didn't give a shit.
Oh,
He was
God.
eating.
And there's
He
a-
was
the one dude who was naked. The guy he got caught twice.
Oh.
Okay,
He got
like be
caught
honest.
naked?
If you were that fucked though, like you'd have to just kind of like.
What happened? Who was it that got the show canceled? It was like a judge or something, right? They busted a judge. Was it a district
they
attorney
killed
or
himself,
judge?
Yeah.
Like it was somebody who was like
killed himself.
somebody, and they killed themselves.
Yeah.
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 And so then suddenly, like our fun and games at the expense of pedophiles, like, well, he killed himself.
Okay, but some of those were so funny. Like that guy that was just eating the cookies, and he was like so. He was special. Okay, I'll just say he was special. I won't say that he was
Well,
retarded.
God played with the character creator on that one. We know that.
He's sitting there eating the cookies, and he's like, "Yeah, my family makes a bunch of cookies every year." And then like Chris Hansen comes in, and he's just fucking still eating the cookies. Like he didn't give a fuck.
You enjoying those cookies?
He's
Yeah.
like,
got his
"Yeah,
hand
this
caught in
is
the cookie
good."
jar.
I will say
I will defend Chris Hansen on one thing. Like every time some like creepy fuck keeps shitting on him, like listen, bro, Chris Hansen might have had some bounce checks, but y'all fuck kids. So let's be honest. Like what the fuck?
the measuring mark is quite high.
Oh god, it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
funny.
exactly. It's like you're still a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong.
He may be a weird
He's
on
just got
Twitter,
a
but you
couple
still
bounce
finger children. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
you know, it's a mark.
Well, it's kind of weird because like you have this weird shift right now with like people who are kind of like maybe we shouldn't be so rude. I'm like, what the fuck are you on about, dude? If you fuck kids, I'm gonna shit on you. Like, get out of here. Like, I'm one of those people where I feel like it's so fucked up to go on like social media sometimes, like Twitter, and it's like for some reason you could still have somebody like fucking disagree with you and you're like pedophilia is bad and somebody's like quote tweeting well actually and I'm like okay buddy like calm down there.
Yeah,
when the motherfucking
the-
maps appear, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they have the
Oh,
maps.
fuck yeah.
Maps might be
files and shit
the
too.
worst name. Worst name.
Maps.
Why
yeah.
did they think that
Minor
was going to give them good
attracted
publicity?
person.
Ugh.
Really
Yeah,
fucking
they're
ruins
just
Dora
fucking
Explorer
wrong.
for a lot of people.
But
Let's
it's, you
look
know,
at
as
them.
far as like, but as far as everything is concerned, like like as people trying to get away from that quote unquote part of drama, like it's never gonna happen. It's just like it's the internet. There's always
gonna be a guy who's
exactly when you have a space where it's slightly anonymous and there's youth, there'll always be diddling. And that's the reason why Roblox still exists and is one of the most popular games in the entire world. Cheers.
What do you make of something
I feel like the problem, man, is like you also like parents don't give a flying fuck about having like kids on the internet. So it's like, oh shit, you're playing Roblox? Cool, that place seems safe. No, that place probably has a fucking groomer sitting on their lobby like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like,
Roblox is probably the most dangerous place online.
Groomers are so good at what they do that they could find a way to groom a child on Dark Souls fucking chat somehow.
True, yeah.
Like fucking, like they're just like scribbling down all the fucking letters for kids. Like, follow the cupcake.
It just keeps writing great chest ahead.
Yeah. God, gee. Oh my God, that's good. That's good, Charles.
It's like tight space forward.
Oh no, don't go in the tight space, Muta.
There was like a channel that did it years ago, and he ended up getting sued, and he had to like actually. What was his name? His name was Anxiety Wars. I think that was.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was Anxiety.
Yeah, like and he had to change like his content because he was getting sued by like 3 people that he busted. He was like a vigilante kind of guy.
Oh.
He would like meet up, like he would hit up people on Grindr and say that he was 15, and then he would meet them up at like Taco Bell parking lots and shit. And then he'd call the cops and then yell at the cops as to why they're not arresting this guy. And the cops are just like, yo, we don't do it like that. That's not how we do it. Like, you can't just do that.
That's entrapment. They have to.
Yeah, it's like straight up entrapment. Like that's.
He's like, you're just
like
gonna let
these
this
channels.
go.
It's like in a lot of ways, some of these channels, what they do is they just like for them. I feel like the views are way more important than it is the actual stopping of a crime.
Absolutely,
so it's like they're out there fucking running these ops, running these like fucking situations, and it's just like they have no foresight into is this investigation done properly or like fucking did we get the cops involved the way that we should have. And, like, the thing is, even when you criticize them, they have this fucking aura of, like, oh, I guess you're just a fucking pedo defender. I'm like, no, I'm not. But, like, I would rather if you were going to do this shit, you would do it absolutely right so that these people actually get busted.
Absolutely.
Because
otherwise,
isn't that the end goal?
You contaminate the entire investigation. Because I'm guessing most of these cunts are probably already on investigation. Though I know.
Well, I was watching this one channel, and he was, like, fucking going up to a predator and, like, screaming in their face, like, come at me, bro. Fucking fight me right now. Like, trying to fucking
That's a good way to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Well, it's like okay, so you're gonna act like hardcore, right? Like you're gonna start to fight. I get it, you're angry at this fucking dude, but it's like every time you like act this hard and you try to like start a fight, the judge is gonna look at you and be like, oh, so you're the asshole in the situation. That's how it's gonna come across.
Absolutely.
Like you might have noble intentions,
yeah,
but like
they could say that it was agitated.
And also, you're not badass for fighting a fucking groomer. Like, let's be honest here, okay?
They're not the strongest looking motherfuckers in the world.
Yeah, like it's not like you're going up against like some fucking cartel Sicario or some shit,
What was that? What was that channel that was like slinging merch? Like they were doing that.
Oh, that was the EDP one.
That was it.
They were, weren't they? They were like
they had merch.
All of them do that though. All of them are now doing that now.
Well, I mean, they're for-profit operations. Like that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will say
they're not busting pedos because they just love kids and want to protect them. No.
The pedophiles love
kids. I wonder how many of the ones where they blur the faces and identities of the groomers are like actually just like fake bait, like fake catches,
Yeah.
Oh, we had that giant trend of that kind of the fake, like going into hotel room and like catching them the actors, like that stuff stunk like a motherfucker. And I will say,
well, that was the prank channel.
Yeah.
What if it turned out it was a little person that they blurred their face?
Prank invasion.
I remember like
pedophile.
I remember it was fucking Joey's World Tour. Not Joey. No, what the fuck? No. Joey Salad.
Joey Salad. Yeah, Joey
Salads.
Oh
yeah. Or he would like roll up to kids and like explain to them like the dangers of going in somebody else's car. Remember when he used to do that? Like, oh fuck me, come on, dude, come on.
Yeah, and it's clearly like
and that like in that great Italian accent of his, he's just like, all right, kids, you don't want to get fucked in the ass or anything.
Come in the van.
Hope you learned a lesson today.
Hey, sweetheart.
All right, guys, we're about to teach you guys how not to get molested out on the internet. Okay?
Hey, kids, you want your salad tossed? Forget about it.
Yeah, he's like,
What
So it's
happened
like
to
the old
him?
G.I.
What
Joe's
happened to him?
promos.
What happened
He
to him?
dissolved. He
I
dissolved
know,
back
like
into the earth.
I know his after the Twitter ban. That's it. Like, what's even going on with that guy anymore?
oh, he's uploading videos, changing homeless man's life
my-
8 months ago.
Oh my god.
Oh, so he's still doing the same kind of weird stuff, huh?
Charity
porn.
Hashtag inspirational.
Charity porn. That's
Crazy
what
I
he's
saw this
ex-girlfriend
doing.
homeless
prank.
man being bullied. Oh, it's so fucking obviously faked. What the fuck?
Blind
it's like
man
it starts the
bathroom
video.
Yeah,
prank?
I want to find. Here's my idea for a video. I want to get some billionaires, and we'll get them to donate money to a millionaire. Let's make a millionaire a billionaire. Really get some money to somebody who
That's
needs
called
it.
crypto.
He hasn't uploaded in 8 months. Wasn't he running for office or something?
Probably some shit, you know.
I
They
think he did try.
Yeah,
didn't he?
like he was running for mayor of New York, I think.
Oh God.
Jesus.
I mean, good luck winning against De Blasio.
I
He's
know,
a-
right? What the fuck?
I mean, he's the thing I love about him is like he's so fucking New York, and it's like it's just what he is. He's like fucking in a way. Like I just love Joey Salads because he's so shameless.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's like in some ways I have to respect it. Like this video I'm watching right now while we're having the discussion, it's like changing homeless man's life. It starts off with this one like homeless dude outside with this like Red Bull and like blue gym bag, and this guy's like, "You want to go?" Like he's going up to a homeless guy. "Do you want to fucking fight?" I'm like, well, first off, it's already fake right there. Nobody challenges a homeless man. The motherfuckers are like level 99 on the streets. He kicks his little fucking bottle over immediately, and Joey's like, "Hey, oh, what you doing? What the fuck?"
Fucking guy here kicking over my bottle. Hey,
And you can see on the left hand of the screen, there's a number, and he clearly is like following straight behind him. He's just following straight behind him.
Yeah.
It's shameless.
And like the best part, I kind of want to see if it's so shameless that like I can go through like a couple of videos and just find the same homeless guy.
Oh,
It's, like,
funny.
horrible.
He's
That'd be
probably
funny.
like the same guy that was probably like in a Fousey video too. I mean, you know, I think they
weird,
recycle.
crisis
They
actor.
still recycle like the black
Shots
homeless
arose.
dude from like whatever.
He's like the generic black homeless guy. in
put a
every
different wig
video.
on him.
He went to the Unity
Yeah.
store, just grabbed the black NPC, put it on the ground. There we go.
That's there's like a Mexican actor, and I forget his name of it, but like he literally is generic Mexican gangbanger in every movie.
He's like a
Oh,
Narcos.
that's the guy from the Steve Seagal
and he
movie.
was, like,
I
in
know the
every-
dude you're
it's
talking
not even
about.
Narcos.
Whoa.
It's like it's every Mexican movie, but like he's not a main. He's just like a background like fucking gangbanger, you know?
Featured goon.
Oh my! I'm watching this video, and Joey's following this guy into the hotel room, and I got a real bad vibe instantaneously.
Oh
Like
no!
you see him, and it is like this is like, I know I'm getting my money back, and it's like, now you want your Joey salad toast. And I was like,
Oh,
God damn!
It's like
No.
Joey just bought him like fucking. It's literally just Amazon boxes he bought, like retaped over and filled them with cards. Joey woke up that day and it's like, here's some money. He gave him like, wait, how much money did you give this homeless guy? You changed his life by giving him 120 bucks.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he just
wow.
fans out a couple-
$120. Well, you don't
couple-
understand, Muta. In bum culture, $120 will let that guy survive for several days.
in his studio apartment.
But that doesn't change his life.
doesn't even
though.
say
Now I
that.
wanna-
A body with a lot of booze.
But it's 100. Yeah,
It's true.
these people are 100% fake. It's just like, and Joey, he understood this because the last time he uploaded was in fucking April. So
Yeah.
I wonder what his hustle is now. Oh,
We don't know
Hashtag
because
homeless.
he got banned. on Twitter.
wait. There's probably one way. There's one way. Maybe it's on Facebook. He's probably making a fucking killing if he's doing this shit on
You know
Facebook.
what?
Yeah, he's a Facebook
I
Some
didn't,
kind
I
of
didn't
guru.
even think of that. I always
It's a
forget about
Facebook
that.
video.
Oh,
Everybody
dude, all
forgets
these
about
prank channels
Facebook.
that ever succeeded, it's actually like super interesting. But like the majority of these prank channels like fucking bitched about getting demonetized on YouTube.
Mhm.
So they went to Facebook and got like 8 like fucking digit view counts all out of nowhere. And it's just like that's where the fucking grift is. And like their Facebook moms eat that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
up like no tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I bet they do.
They're like, wait, this homeless guy's life got changed? Wow, this video couldn't be fake at all.
touching my heartstrings.
Yeah, the
Vertical
somebody
video.
pointed me out. There's a guy on TikTok who pretends to fart into phones in Walmarts, and that's his whole channel.
Oh,
Is that he
I've
just
seen
goes
that
up to a
guy.
phone,
Yeah, I saw
takes
that
a
guy.
phone off, and they play the same fart sound effect every single time.
Oh yeah,
He like shits in. Oh, okay.
it's one of those.
What is this guy? What is
Oh,
this?
I know exactly what
Who
you're
is
talking
this
about. These
for?
people who are faking, like taking the phones from like the
Yeah,
the-
it's like a
the
fake
building one.
prank, and it's like, well, why not just And I just fart.
I fucking hate TikTok. I think TikTok is a Chinese op that's like trying to dumb down the rest.
And
of the
you know
world.
what's funny?
Yeah.
I don't even have it installed, but I'll see like everything that's going to be on TikTok is going to make its way to YouTube Shorts anyway. So everything that you see,
YouTube Shorts is just a shitty version.
It's just a shitty version, and it's just re-uploaded TikToks where it's like it's shameless. It'll have like all the shit like on the side like from TikTok too. So like I found somebody she's actually even less. She's okay. We already know Lele Pons isn't funny. I found an
speak for yourself. She makes me fucking.
Remember when she fell through that glass?
I found an actual unfunny version of her. So she's
my god.
If Lele Pons is already unfunny,
must that
I found like
that lady be?
It's awful, and people are like watching this shit because she's like, if it's made it to YouTube Shorts, then she's already popped the fuck off on TikTok. Like I don't even know her name. I'll find it, but like it's that bad. But like everything that's on TikTok.
Dude, Lele Pons has Tourette's. I just clicked on her channel. I'm sorry.
Does she really?
She's got a fucking. I don't know. That's what she's saying.
Is that what she's citing?
My dad is gay. The secret life of Lele Pons.
She's so full of shit.
Evidently not, Lele. Your dad had you at some point, so he's bisexual.
Yeah, come on, Lele.
Lele's lying. She's fucking
Lele lying.
She's still pulling
she made a video. The internet hates me. The secret life of Lele. Bitch, how is it secret if you're uploading it to 7.4 million people watching?
Jesus.
It's not no secret.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
I have severe OCD. My dad is gay. I have Tourette's.
Uploading anymore.
Jesus Christ.
She uploaded a month ago.
She made this severe OCD like she has a life-threatening fucking condition right now.
Please like and
move aside cancer. I've got OCD.
Please like and subscribe.
Has I wonder if SniperWolf's been at all like hurting over since that thing happened.
Oh yeah. So we talked about like Sniper Girl.
Nothing happened. She's not gonna do anything. She just moves on. She's like, I got to react to fucking TikToks today. I unironically fucking love that though. That's like some girl boss shit. Like SniperWolf proves that you just don't have to make good content. Like I'll sit over here, like dude. I sit down sometimes, like these big videos that I make with like fucking crypto scams or like reviewing these games and shit, like Shenmue. Yeah, I must have spent like a fucking week, 2 weeks just sitting down editing Shenmue and like just having a blast. Fucking the video fails. It's like a 9 out of 10. I expected that. I'm not gonna fucking be a dipshit. But fucking SniperWolf comes out. It's like people who got very lucky, and the thumbnail's like perfect burger.
Oh,
okay, she wins.
We went through the list and like. It was like 4 years now running of just the same fucking shit nonstop. I wonder how much money she's made in comparison to how much TikTok's has made. Like TikTok as a company percentage wise versus like.
Oh, you know how much money she's making on the YouTube side?
Oh my god, she's pulling in like.
Dude.
She's probably making enough that she could make a TV show.
Daily, and she's hitting probably like
she's making over like 1.2 million a month.
Yeah, like she's hitting like after these have been up even just for a few days, it's like they've already hit like 5 million. Like after just like a couple of days.
TikToks that are actually relatable. Mom says to shower. She's got like she knows she's got a gamer audience, so she has to like throw the mom saying shower in there. I fucking love her for that because like she's got like a fucking 10-head Kevin Spacey brain going on in House of Cards. She she knows what works.
And I feel like she does like the annoying thing because like she knows some people hate it. But like the little kids that are watching her,
they're fucking
they don't know the difference. But I think she's kind of playing that like.
Oh, you know when she's done for filming the video, she's like, oh fuck, I'm glad I don't have to entertain retards anymore. Let's fucking go. God. You know, she don't give a fuck.
She's always been obnoxious even before she became just like straight up like reaction channel, like her voice, like because she'll do like the whiny thing. She does some whiny thing, and she's like, I know what you all be doing. Like she
goes full Martinez.
But that's how you know she's like one of us, though. Like that's like. You know when she's done filming, she's like, all right, I'm fucking done. Let's go smoke some crack or something.
Oh, that money, that's crack money, absolutely.
I wonder how many millionaires do smoke crack.
They probably do like bougie drugs. Yes, I assume.
I don't know. Maybe they just like crack.
I don't know. I mean, like, the mayor of my city was on fucking crack.
Absolutely.
He had the fucking money for a while.
Man.
In blatant levels.
Dude, you know, that thing pissed me off. Like, it wasn't like the fact that he was doing crack that like, I didn't care if my mayor was doing drugs. I'm like, I'm proud that like fucking he's doing some drugs. And good job, Rob Ford. Like, when we saw that in Toronto, we're like, yeah, if you knew the shit that there was to do here, you'd be doing drugs too. But like, I was just kind of offended. I'm like, this motherfucker. Dude, like, I got a parking ticket the other day, like fucking New Year's. Okay, I'm pulling out of my homie's place. I go up to my car. I see like this leaflet on it. I'm like, who the fuck is having a come to Jesus moment to me right now at 1 in the fucking morning? Because I thought it was a goddamn like religious pamphlet. And then I pull it up. I'm like, oh, this piece of shit. I looked at my dash cam. Oh, it was a parking enforcement guy, fully strapped, ready to go, writing them tickets. And I look at the ticket cost. I'm like, this motherfucker's billing me $30. All right, for a fucking minor parking infraction. So I'm like, there's no way the mayor ain't making a killing if you do the whole scale. So I'm like, why is he doing crack?
And it was
like he should be doing coke or something.
1 o'clock in the okay.
Pure
What
coke.
parking people are out at 1 o'clock in the morning?
The ones that have nothing to do on New Year's.
The ones that are on
The
crack.
Royal Canadian Mounties. That's who, Jen.
But like the way that this guy was dressed, like I'm pretty sure he had like a gun and everything. So when I saw this guy, I was like, man, this motherfucker takes this job seriously. This is like
strapped up.
This dude's thinking he's
That's all he has left.
In his mind, he's like, I'm gonna stop the fucking drug cartels from invading Toronto. I'm gonna stop these sick fucks.
And
Meanwhile, he's working for him.
You would think that they would want to actually go out doing like more shit, like on New Year's, where there's like a lot of drunk people. But oh no, they're gonna go out and give fucking parking tickets. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna spend their time.
This guy had his wheels turned the wrong way. Yeah, we can get him for $30.
Well, I think it's fucking. I feel like I should have gotten a fucking trophy from the parking enforcement because I parallel parked like a champ on that fucking street. Okay,
Yeah.
I found this one fucking gap. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest with you, BMW drivers piss me the fuck off with how they park.
I knew you were gonna. Oh, I knew.
Yeah, I was. And you want to know why? Because I'm parking between two fucking BMW drivers.
Okay, but did you actually park the car, or did the car park itself?
I parked the car. No, that parking spot was so tight. I did not trust fucking Daddy Elon trying to auto park. I was like, oh yeah, it was. Dude, that shit was tighter than a Marrakesh Bazaar. I was like, there's no way I'm fucking risking this. Like, I'm gonna fucking do this myself. And I did it myself. But, like, I got out of my car and I'm like, these BMW assholes literally couldn't fucking, like, drive maybe, like, 4 inches forward or backwards. Like, you literally had to make space. Yo, your cars don't need to social distance assholes.
I am not
an
asshole driver, for the record, okay?
Oh, well, I know that you apparently bought the turn signal extension that 99% of the fucking BMW owners don't. Like, literally, I get so pissed. Like, sometimes I'm like, yo, roll down your windows, okay? Are they extra? Does, like, the fucking Germans charge you more? Like, what's going on?
Well,
like,
they usually... most of the time...
We can go to the dealership. Mustangs? No, they're all good drivers. Oh. No Mustang drivers ever.
I would say with BMWs, they're used to doing hand signals because the other ones were doing a certain German position with hands.
Hey,
yeah, their hand signals go straight up and out.
Stop bully.
Well, you don't need a signal to tell people to go forward, right? That's a different game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But with 2021 in the fucking bin, what was the weirdest moment from your perspective? What was the weirdest one that kind of sticks out to you? Outside of ass washing in public.
Weirdest moment of 2021. Oh. Man, I mean, the guy washing his asshole outside a fucking place in Los Angeles will never leave my fucking head. But, man, I don't know if there's anything really crazy that happened in, like, 2021 alone, because we were kind of... I expected 2021 to be traveling a little bit, because I thought all this pandemic shit was kind of going to die down, but I was locked in for the most part. 2021, like, aside from work, which has been absolutely great, like, there's been nothing developing that's, like, I haven't had the chance to have, like, freaky, weird, like, encounters in public. You know, as much as I used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it was like every year I used to have like fun. You go to the United States and it's like, oh fuck, man, every state you go to has its own crackhead. So that's like the local
crack central. Exactly. It's like you have a heat map and you find that and you find the stories that come from that point.
I mean, it's not like fucking like I think. I mean, if I'm gonna think about the weirdest fucking shit that's ever happened to me, it was I saw Jenkem in Australia, which was a fun time and. That was you guys know what Jenkem is, right?
Absolutely.
Of course we know what Jenkem is. That is...
Well, I saw Jenkem, and I saw this in Australia, so this is the one thing I didn't tell anybody from, like, my homeless encounters, like, pulling the fucking, blanket off a homeless dude and watching him get sucked off.
Jenkem got Jenkem.
Jenkem in my home's place.
Yeah.
G'day.
Dude, I don't know what's up with Australians, but like you guys have like next to Africans, it's like, oh shit, we can shit in a jar and ferment it and somehow it gets us high.
It's
something with a balloon, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's a balloon jar. I feel like it's because drugs are probably super expensive in Australia.
Oh,
so
no,
everything's expensive in Australia. Holy shit.
Oh, God. Our money's worthless. But mostly, we actually, just like Vancouver, we have a massive crack epidemic. We all have meth heads. In Australia.
Crack, bro. Fentanyl, dude. What the fuck? Crack is like.
Fair enough. But in Australia, we have an ice epidemic. Ironically, in a place that's so fucking hot, we have an ice epidemic. It's a lot of places in Australia just got fucking crumped off. That's not even a phrase. But yeah, shit in a jar, might as well. What are you gonna do with it? Sit in the septic tank.
I have nothing against that. I mean, like, hey, shit, if you want to go for it, why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I think it's kind of ingenious because, like, if you can get high off of just shit, that's go off, King.
I mean,
I know Justin did a video on Jenkem for sure. I remember watching that a little.
Shout out to our buddy Wayne.
Jenkem. What's the new 2022 Jenkem? What's the next one?
The new 2022 Jenkem is we're gonna go with Wang to a fucking warehouse bar and get drunk at 5 in the morning. That's the new Jenkem. That's the thing that happened.
That was a thing. That was a thing that did happen.
Almost happened.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, he was like. Well, I don't know what the fuck Wayne was doing, but him and all the guys were like, next to all the guys that were just fucking, come out, dude, it's a fucking bar. We're getting drunk at 4 a.m. I'm like, dude, what kind of fucking criminal bar are you at that's serving booze that late?
5 a.m, it's like, they're open till 5. It's like, what?
Jesus Christ. That's
what are they gonna pray like morning prayer or something and go to fucking bed? Like
Sacrament.
What the hell? Like
it's
shit.
Yeah, tequila sunrise and also the actual sunrise.
A rabbi blessed that booze.
I wonder what kind of I really like. It was actually really funny to like see people just completely severely fucked up at VidCon. I will say that. Like you look over 1 second and then the next minute they're just completely fucked. I watched Turkey Tom do that. Like I was having like normal conversations with him and then like maybe like 20 minutes later, like he's being held up by like 2 different people, just completely fucked.
A poor child. Child.
It was fun to see Boblax take a beer and fucking lose it.
Oh no! So this was funny. This was fucking funny. Like Boblax, okay, like shout out. Like he's such a sweetheart. So I'm sitting there. It was at your party on Friday, and we're sitting there talking. I'm sitting there talking to Oki, and then like Boblax is on the other side, and Oki's just sitting there talking to Boblax for like the longest time. And Oki leans over to me and he goes, he has no idea who I am. I was like, he fucking knows you. He knows you. And then he just looks at him and he goes, you have no idea who the fuck I am, do you? Boblax was like, no, my memory's really shit with people.
Oh.
And then he was like, it's Oki. He was like, oh, yeah, I remember you now. So then we took shots and then it was okay. And then I watched Boblax kind of like not really inhale weed. That was funny. He takes like
mad
these
trash
little
about the
tiny
boys
hits,
now.
and I called him out. I was like, "You're a fake stoner." He's not, but like, it was the first couple.
It's like Sergeant Stadinko.
They just were like out like really, really quickly.
Oh.
So it was funny.
Me.
It was funny.
God damn! Fucking Jesus. I'm going to be surprised. I want to hear the stories of the proper VidCon that hopefully happens this year for y'all, because that it's
honestly,
open season.
Honestly, like proper, like if they actually have it, like I don't even think like I think people that were there like this year, like for the fake one, are planning on doing something like different and not doing like the real VidCon because we didn't need it. We actually didn't need it at all.
Yeah,
it was a manufacturer.
Why not call your show Real VidCon?
We just didn't need it.
It's like the real Ghostbusters.
The extreme VidCon.
I feel like it was a lot of people who came to VidCon that just like finally had some social interaction and finally started to have
people starved
that they just hadn't been around people.
I think like everybody's kind of like a lot of people got burnt out like on night one.
Yeah,
night one. Everyone. I mean, I went fucking hard night one. That's for sure. But like. I got really. It was probably like only I don't know, like
what time did I get there? Was Glink and Slush? It was probably like around 8:30, and there was like everybody was like, "You were wasted." Jorge was wasted. And then like Plain Rock sitting there getting drunk, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I don't know." I don't know yet. Like there was a lot of red faces. Everybody was just like shots. And then like people would come up to me like, "Are you drunk? Are you drunk?" I'm like, "I'm totally not even drunk." Like I have to drive, okay? Like I had to drive from like OC LA traffic like on a Friday night.
Yeah, so you give him the situation. At least you didn't have to go there.
Passed out like everyone else over there.
Yeah, everybody literally did. Like so many people passed out. I watched so many people throw up that night.
Jesus Christ. And the phone story as well that happened later on. At least you didn't have to go to the airport to get things sorted. Like at least it was like in the certain area, like radius.
No, because it really pissed me off because I was literally like I was so tired. I was like, okay, I'm almost home. And then he's like, Jen, Oki left his phone in here. I was like, God fucking damn it. So I had to go back. I'm like, he's lucky. He's my friend. Otherwise, he would have been fucked up the next day because I would have said like, no, fuck you. But I was like, damn it, I had to go back. It was fine.
I don't care if he was my friend. I would have not given a fuck. I'm like,
that pitch in the window.
And what sucks is their Airbnb, like you had to pull into like this little tiny itty bitty like one-way driveway alleyway.
Jesus
So
Christ.
when you're done, you had to like back up. So it was like a super duper like huge like pain in the ass. And it was like right off like a main drag that's like a pain in the ass where the lights like take forever even if nobody's on the street. It pissed me off so bad. And then and then I was like, don't throw up in my car, Ogie. Like I had technicals a bag. I was like, make sure he does not puke in my fucking car. Okay. Like we have to make sure. But yeah, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, he's hoping for a lot of reunion points. Because I know Kudos wants to be over to the VidCon. I know, or basically all the Beef Boys want to hopefully be at VidCon at one point.
They were talking about Florida.
Ah, Flowrider, my favorite artist from the wrestlings.
No, they were talking about Florida, but it's kind of like
that's so far away from fucking everyone involved.
I hate Florida.
Florida's amazing.
No, it's not. It sucks.
Florida is the only state more outlaw than West Virginia.
I'm like,
true.
It like everybody always hypes Texas.
Texas is great.
Texas
Now you know everything's bigger in Texas.
I've never been. I'm gonna go first time in like 2 weeks, so we're good.
Oh, rock and roll. Oh, yeah. Well, by the time this podcast comes out, you're probably in Texas at the moment.
I'm gonna see.
This is our Valentine's Day episode.
Let's be honest, Tom. It'll probably be out like even further than that. Come on.
It's not my fault. Not my fault.
Okay, hello.
Guys,
We just gotta put it out there, Tom. We still have 2 episodes from 2021 we need to get out,
I'm
and
sorry.
it's January 1st. Come on.
I'm waiting for those things to be edited and audio wise and given to me. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just waiting. Sorry. But I know.
What about the other one that's already been edited for audio?
I'm fucking working on it. Well, how about this? No.
You guys are going to hear a lot of Christmas talks. So just like, we're gonna
air some dirty laundry. Jen didn't upload James's audio. Is that right? Ooh.
You had James's audio. I didn't even have. James never sent me his audio.
Your audio for James.
You had James's dirty laundry. Audio. I didn't even have it.
Does my we try to every episode have some dirty laundry.
Just everybody argues over top of one another.
We have to. I kind of feel like there has to be. You know what? I think Baited for that. I think Baited's like the first podcast where they just like shout on each other like for internal shit.
I don't like shitting on everybody though. It breeds resentment.
That's really
a catch-23. The episode's late.
Well, I mean,
catch 3.
But I think that was like
but I don't like.
But we really didn't
bring it up on the podcast.
when we like were getting it out. I think we were really nice to each other. I think we could have gone harder.
That's all right. It is. But I think podcast wise, I think last year was fantastic, and I think this following year, like everyone that we know is kind of doing some stuff that is not all the same, but it's kind of in that same vein of Beef. Some Ordinary Gamer podcast coming out.
It's just some ordinary podcast. Why do you always like butcher podcast names, Tom?
Well,
he's not wrong. That's the internal one.
Exactly.
Are you calling us the Real
You
Worst
actually
Sickos?
wanted to call it something else, huh?
Oh,
we were trying to call it Irrelevant Podcast, so when we actually did become irrelevant, we could be like, haha, it's part of the joke.
We're always irrelevant.
Yeah, cool. It would be kind of cool if we could be irrelevant and somehow like fucking get up to like some Joe Rogan tier, so I could like eventually talk about fucking DMT all day for some reason.
Shock testosterone straight from testicles.
That'd be great to get that little Asian dude that calls everybody irrelevant to be
Well,
like, these guys are irrelevant.
I feel like I would love to be the Joe Rogan guy, but like that would just fucking absolutely destroy me like mentally, because that motherfucker like takes Tylenol and everyone fucking shits on him for some reason. Like
what? This is something that I've been thinking about, is the amount of noise that somebody gets at them every day. What must the scale of what Joe Rogan deals with every day, what must that sound like? What must that feel like to be like?
That's exactly what it is.
Because you've got, you think the different platforms that you're on, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like all these different comments on everything, every reply to a tweet. How many people are coming at Joe Rogan every day with the craziest, wildest shit?
He does.
Well, he was trending like literally a day, or maybe even today, actually, if I'm not mistaken. He was like, he had some virologist on that got banned on Twitter or something, and like completely shit the bed, like on the internet. Like Twitter was fucking ablaze. They were like, I mean, like the thing about it is that like he obviously caters to like a very specific political side of the internet, and it's like, and so like that's the thing. If you want to succeed on the internet, period, just pick a side. That's all. You just take one side. It doesn't matter if you're a leftist or a right person. Like you could literally I don't consider myself in any of those camps. Like if I had to like politically align myself in any capacity, I'll probably say I'm like left leaning, but I'm not like extremely like, that I'm like rational, I guess. I'm not like the extreme end of one of them. But like the way that you succeed on here is like if you just pick any side and like you just cater exactly to the extreme, you win. Because that's the extreme that's the extreme that'll drive you up in the rankings. They'll constantly comment on you. They'll constantly view your shit. They will. You have picked a side and you have succeeded in that case. Like that's how it works.
Getting hate,
and your guys will always root for your side. They always support one another. It's like, all right, this is our guy. He's put the flag out. We're with him.
It's harder to be rational than it is to be extreme, because when you're rational, you take the heat from every angle. But when you're on one side, like the extreme end, and you cater specifically to them, you do so well in the rankings. You're getting like 99.5% approval ratings. Like
it's a cannibalism point as well. Like once you hit the extreme, as soon as anything changes, the drag is so far. Like the drag will be so hard and so fast. It's kind of sad that it kind of becomes like, just the immediately destruction of somebody the second that goes wrong. But it's fucking just the way it is, unfortunately, in this fucking place. It is.
I just hate
it's hard to be a rational, normal, level-headed person and like actually like think for yourself when you can just parrot the same extreme points and just succeed out there.
Absolutely.
That's it. Like I remember when this whole pick a side stuff was happening with like YouTube, and I'm good friends with Mom Max, but like we're friends, so like being friends, you can like say if like your buddy handles something the right way or they don't. And I told him, I'm like, I agree with you, but I'm like, you probably shouldn't be tagging like every creator under the sun and like, burning the whole fucking house down. But like, you say that and then like your comment sections are filled with, so you don't actually fucking care about kids. So you're a pedo defender. I'm like, and then from every angle, you're getting attacked from one side or the other. Yeah. And I'm like, it's so fucking hard to be rational and have your own thought process and like be fucking level headed. Otherwise, I could have just become like every other YouTuber and been like, fuck YouTube. Like, exactly, you could have won. It's like when that whole thing was happening, the entire like discourse and at least the commentary community on like Twitter, it was like they were trying to like fucking catch the strings on like not the actual issue, but like how I guess this like how Max conducted himself. I'm like, is that really what you should be like focusing on? Like
they miss. I feel like in a lot of ways, a lot of people missed the main point and the bigger picture on purpose, just so they can have something to talk about. I honestly think that's what I mean. Fast forward to now that it actually worked, but at the same time, there's always going to be people that are always going to sit back and be like, you know what? Like, here's what's wrong with this. And it's fine to a certain extent, but like when I feel like people are picking it apart on purpose, that's kind of when it becomes a problem.
There's also people who just need to be contrarians online.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like
people who actively go out there just to say the opposite thing, just to get a rile out.
It's what's funny. It's the people that are actually the contrarians that always accuse other people of, you're just trying to be contrarian to what I'm saying. It's like, motherfucker, you're the one being contrarian. Like, what?
Yeah, I feel like they're less contrarians and more cunts.
Exactly. It's a more concise version. Exactly.
It's like you gotta take. It's so weird how clicky the internet is in regards because you just like everyone wants you to fucking take a side on something.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking logically assume and think things for myself.
I like to talk to everybody. I feel like there's something about talking to everybody, hearing them out, and being like, well, wait a minute, you're full of shit about this stuff, man. Like you gotta chill. Like why are you going so hard all the time?
Exactly.
Like you can't live you can't inject politics in everything.
Right.
Sometimes, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Can't we just smoke a cigar?
And I feel like for you, I feel like a lot of people probably like you get a lot of pressure for people to be like, "Oh, you're on my side, right?"
Yeah, you're our guy, right?
Yeah.
I straight up tell them I'm like I'm not anyone's guy. Like I have friends, I have good friends, but it's like I can't get into like fucking
every little spat that people kind of seem to find themselves into like every week. You kind of have to just. There are some times where, oh yeah, you gotta back the homie up. But for the most part, for things that are kind of trivial, like there's a lot of trivial shit that goes on like every week that you can't possibly take sides with everybody because it's gonna piss off somebody else. And it's just like you always have to play that second degrees of who the fuck ever is related to this and just kind of laugh about it a little bit because it's kind of funny.
I'm just there for the homies, and that's pretty much it. Like, we don't need to fucking. I don't really give a fuck about starting any. Like, if somebody's gonna beef with me over like some YouTube stuff, and we're like, all right, whatever, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, it's the internet. I'm gonna fucking say what I have to say and call it a day.
And I think a lot of people respect you for doing that. Frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have good friends. Like, I mean, if like, look, tomorrow if like fucking Charlie did something absolutely ass-maddeningly like dumb on the internet, I'd probably be like, you're fucking stupid.
True.
Like I'd straight up say that, but it is what it is. Like you got to do, and vice versa. I expect the same. Like with Max doing something like that, it's like I could come out in the video and be like, "Yeah, Max is absolutely 100% right. Yeah, fuck it. If you guys don't respond, you're a pedophile." I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, that's kind of like a very emotionally charged way to handle it. But and the funny thing is, like when you do stuff like that, everyone speculates everything. It's like, oh, so I guess you and Max like you just had a fucking falling out, or so. Like some guy was like, I guess you're having a falling out. I'm like, no, we literally.
I
was like,
people. I
was like, we DM'd 2 hours after I uploaded that video. Like we literally DM'd
exactly, about it. and you clarified it at the very beginning of that video anyway. Like, okay, this is how it is, and anybody that did that, we're just trying to start shit because people be trying to start shit.
Yeah, well, that's the internet. That's the internet. They just want.
Well, even with like EDP, like I want to make this video on EDP tomorrow because like all the commentary guys are kind of covering the EDP, but it's serious because like I saw the Sunny V2 video that he made, and it was he thumbnailed it.
I saw that on my recommended.
Yeah, he like thumbnailed it, and the reason I want to make the video, he thumbnailed it like, oh,
he's in jail now.
And everything.
Yeah.
And he's not. I can't get the fucking proof on it. So I'm like trying to look for all of this information. I'm trying to like undercut.
He clickbaited the fuck out of that. Jesus Christ.
With EDP's situation and the way that I cover it, like obviously I think EDP is a fucking dog shit terrible human being. And obviously like there's a lot of context to the situation because like when he got banned, he came back like a week later and he's like eating a cupcake and is like, I don't give a fuck, like he's thinking it'll all go away because it's petty YouTube drama. But like pedophilia is not YouTube drama. Once you're caught for that, you're basically done. You're gone. Like if you go to Mini Lad's videos right now, Mini Lad's videos, he's still getting crucified.
It's a wasteland.
And the thing is with EDP, it's like now he's getting like harassed and found in real life. And again, I don't know the extent of how bad it is, but like obviously he's probably never going to be able to get a fucking job. He's not going to be able to do anything. Like it is what it is. It's done. Like it's over at this point for his life. And part of me is like, at what point do you reach a situation where it's like, okay, maybe like, because the idea is like, I always think of like second chances, right? Like, maybe somebody can better themselves. And like EDP, as far as I know, hasn't committed a crime. Like as far as I know, hasn't actually went through with the act. So it's like, if like with his life now in shambles, like he threw it all up for a cupcake. He had everything going on for everything. It's like after the whole fucking like thing has been burned down, does he have like a moment of self-reflection in his head where he's like, okay, maybe I should change. Maybe I should be a good person. Maybe I should address this deficiency in me. And if he does that, if he has like that change of heart, like a genuine change of heart, I don't want to sit here and be like, all right, demonize it until the guy like offs himself or something, or like actually, go out and like, if you want to change, hey, I fucking hope you can change. It doesn't mean that I ever will have respect or like the guy because he definitely did something really shady. But, if you want to change and do things better in your life, go fucking for it. But see, if I said that same thing right now on Twitter in like the way that I articulated it, I'm going to be fucking crucified by one extreme side or the other. Exactly. That's the real problem, right? It's like, oh, so you don't want to fucking see EDP
You don't want him dead? You don't want to
woe.
see people like do better? Awful. Terrible.
Yeah. And I'm like, here's the thing: if EDP had committed this crime, like if he actually did do something, I would do everything in my life to see that motherfucker spend his life behind bars. The fact that he's still outside roaming around, not cool. I think in these situations, the more you emotionally charge and the more you like harm the person directly without involving law enforcement, the more damage you do to like yourself, right? Like, because in the grand scheme of things, if like somebody from the outside without any knowledge of EDP was looking into it, they'd be like, oh wow, they're like fucking crucifying and murdering this guy. They're about to kill him. No, if like people just kept reporting him to law enforcement and like fucking tracked every action and had like the cops looking into him, if the fucking predator poachers had actually involved the law enforcement to begin with, EDP would actually be in prison for the right reasons and probably be dealt with there, you know, in terms of like therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's been like, contaminated.
I think fucking hunting the guy down and like getting him to lose his jobs and like taking everything away isn't necessarily doing anything in the long term. It's like just get the cops involved and have them off the streets. Because even if he has everything taken away, the thing that scares me, it's like you either have a change of heart when everything is gone, or you double down and become an even sicker monster out of it. And that's like the fulcrum point right now. You know, it's like
absolutely.
It's like EDP doesn't have his job, he doesn't have his fucking house. As far as I know, he doesn't have like fucking anything going on. So like,
even if like he never acted on it, he has his life ruined anyway, and it feels like some people that's just what they want to see. Like they want to. I hate to say it, but I do see exactly. I do see people like that. I swear to God, like they're out to like ruin other people, and I'm not saying that like that's
EDP definitely deserves it.
Right, but there's
but
just
also
like
a lot of French Revolution thinking. This guy's been exiled and he can't work. So what's he gonna do?
The thing that scares me, it's also like now that he's been exiled and now this all happened, what if like he chooses to go through with committing this action? You know, it's like all it takes. It's like any interaction with a minor, any connection to like a kid on Roblox. I'm like, fuck. I mean, you've already gotten crucified for it. Might as well go through with it. That's the thing that scares me the most out of it. But you know, hopefully he's too far away, and hopefully he'll never be able to do something.
Yeah.
And it's a weird story. It's like I don't understand how hard it is for like content creators to not fuck kids, you know? Like I wake up every morning. No, seriously, like I wake up every morning, like, you know, my alarm bell rings, you know, the sun comes up, and I'm never fighting the urge to not have sex with children, you know? Like there's not like an innate part of my personality or soul that's like, oh, must stop wanting young boy pussy. Like it's nothing in me that says
another
that,
day, another fight.
Yeah, right. Like another like I'm not fighting a personal jihad within myself to like stop fucking destroying a child's rectum.
The holy grail
so
of
it's
Minecraft.
Like I don't understand. Like yeah, exactly. Like I don't understand why like you get all these stories of like predators and like you come across people who are like, yeah, but these guys are like young at heart, mentally. I'm like, it doesn't excuse them.
See,
like what the fuck?
Young at heart. No such thing as that. Oh, like,
that's bullshit. Like. Look, sometimes I feel fucking young at heart too, but then I'm like, oh shit, I'm 27 years old. I should probably only be interacting with people around my age bracket. And I was like, that's the only normal thing. It's like, what fucking commonality do you have is like, in some cases, like a fucking late 20s with like a 14-year-old on the internet. It's like,
exactly. That's what I've never understood that. I've never understood that when people talk about like, it was because I saw something the other day. It was like they were bringing up the old drama with like Pescator and that he supposedly put porn in like a group chat that had like Aiden projects in it. Aiden Prada is like, he's like what, 15? He's like, he already peaked at like 11 for like his YouTube career. And it's like, you know, but it's like, why the fuck is like, why are these age brackets like in the same fucking group chat? Like I don't get it. Like what do you possibly have to talk about?
I get freaked
like,
out if that's like a case, you know?
Yeah, like what do you have to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah, like what
we're talking about like YouTube drama.
Exactly. What's your favorite Minecraft block and how much you got in your pants?
All the teens are just going off about EDP laughing about him.
Like there's gonna be nothing in common. There's zero in common. Like I don't even have anything in common with people that are like 20. Okay, like it just.
Oh, exactly. Oh god, talking to 20-year-olds are just it's It's a bit of a mindset.
Like,
Some are right, but some
I feel like a
aren't.
Martian. I have conversations with people.
When you're on the internet and you're like speaking on applications that store all your data anyways, you're not gonna get away with it, you idiots. Like they're gonna fucking leak out and you're gonna get screwed.
Exactly.
Like what the fuck?
I will say this: the one note to say on is EDP. If you put an O at the start, it's pedo backwards. I'm just saying.
Shit!
Don't get woke, everyone. Get woke.
It's like the Bible code on the History Channel. It was right there the whole
Maybe
time.
he had the red herrings out there the whole time, and we just chose to ignore it.
The real pedophile was the friends you made along the way.
Exactly. And speaking of the real friends that we made along the way, so I don't know how. Hey, Jen, I'm gonna quickly say. I love the conversations that we usually have here, and I don't want to relate friendships to pedophiles. So Cyberpunk, and then Cyberpunk. Hey, Muta, I think one of your recent videos you played a bit of Cyberpunk. What are your thoughts coming into this year in relation to Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh, I'm keeping my expectations lower than ever for that game. It's they've all got I think the development team on it has gone so radio silent right now, and there's literally no tangible updates to the game. Dude, everyone that's on about it, it's like, can we admit that Cyberpunk was a good game? I'm like, okay, guys, let's not fucking lie about it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Listen, I waited for that game since before I started my YouTube channel. I keep saying it because I remember when the reveal trailer came out. I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan, right? I love that environment and everything. I'm like, oh my god. Fucking sick, right? And then I hear CD Projekt Red, I'm like, oh, they made a good game. They made one good game, so it's fuck, maybe they'll make another good game, who knows? And the hype train starts, and when they show the gameplay footage, okay, back during E3, the hour of footage, I was like, oh, this shit looks really good, they've got crowds, they've got everything. And immediately since then, I had this dark cloud in my head because as a programmer, as somebody in the sphere, I know the limitations of technology, I understand programming. I looked at that footage, and when I was like, oh, what specifications was it running on? So I had a buddy at E3 at the time tell me the system they had, and it was the highest end system of that era, right, of that year. They had the best Intel processor, the highest end fucking GTX devices, and crap ton of RAM in the system, 32 gigs. And I was like, man, that's a fucking massive system. And how the fuck would they scale this game down to an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4? In my head, I'm like, that's from a programming perspective, it's that's gotta be a fucking tough job. So then they showed more footage of the game, and it looked good. I was like, oh, maybe they've got it working. And then towards the point of release, I would say 2-3 months into it, when they started delaying the game, right?
Yeah.
And this was April to whatever November release date was. That's when I knew it would be bad. Because I knew that they were going through issues on the consoles. I said it on streams. I'm like, the delay probably happened because the console version just does not run at 30 frames. So towards the release of it, they were starting to show all the cool stuff, in Night City you can get all these cars and fucking look at how nice the city looks, and then they showed the gameplay footage, the Xbox and PlayStation on their own channel. It's still up, by the way. And on their channels, this is the thing that scared me. They never showed any footage from the base system.
Yes, it was all mission stuff.
Pro,
exactly.
It was PS4 Pro, PS5 have backwards compatibility. I'm like, okay, Xbox One X. I'm like, what about the system that most of the people own? Because most of the people do not own the enhanced systems, okay? Those were people that just spent money on those extra systems called it a day. Most people that I knew were playing on slims and base Xbox Ones. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be rusty. Oh. So moving up the timeline, 2 weeks before it comes out, the disc copies start leaking, right? And basically the Reddit boards are filled with all these leaks. And it's bad. Unpatched, it's bad. Yeah. I end up getting the game, because I've invested in a couple of game stores, so I can just go there and grab the copy and come home. Probably not legal, but we're not gonna talk about that.
On the store,
Yeah. So I get the copy home, I load it up on my PlayStation. I'm excited to play some Cyberpunk. This long wait has finally come to an end. There's so much in my life that's happened, from that point that the reveal trailer came out to now. I'm a fucking older, fatter guy that pays taxes. I'm that's things have changed. I was a much happier younger man. Now I'm an old
recapture the happiness of a youth gone.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, can't wait to play some Cyberpunk. So I load this bitch in. It fucking soft locks on the tutorial. I make a video about it. I post a video. And I delete the video quickly because I'm like, oh shit, I want to get fucking DMCA. But I'm like, dude, what? And so I'm playing through this entire game. Before the game even comes out, they literally patch the fucking game, so they invoke some like glitch that doesn't let you get past a certain story beat. So you're just like locked into the game. So they're trying to get people to not see the rest of the open world. And then, you know, the game at least that's what my theory is.
Yeah,
okay?
but
like,
I can understand where you're coming from regards to the situation.
Probably.
Yeah, I
But,
know
like,
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
The game opens up and it's like, look, I don't have an expectation that it's GTA. GTA is a different thing, but it's like if you're gonna make an open world with a city and like the ability to drive through it and like interact with gangs, why the fuck isn't there a cop system? Why the fuck doesn't Night City PD chase me? Why the fuck isn't in the beginning of the game like they show these fucking massive mega like cops jump off of a helicopter and like blow some dude's head out? And it's like, you don't want to fuck with them. They're the biggest badasses. You never see them again in the fucking game. So it's like,
you never like you
what?
the entire gimmick of the Psycho Squad never fucking shows up. You essentially do their job and they never fucking show up. It's like the fuck.
Yeah.
It's such a biggest that's such a biggest kick in the dick.
It's a kick in the dick. The traffic system, the fact that you can't modify your fucking car. It's like, dude, what? You're seeing all these modified cars anyway. How hard was it to implement a garage system or something? It's like, you're telling me it's a game where I can be a fucking like cyberpunk dude, and it's like I can't even buy a fucking mansion in like the ritzy part of town. Like you're literally in California, okay? Like you're in what is considered to be like a fucking pretentious mecca of the universe, and you're not allowing me to buy fucking big properties and mega super like well, you can buy supercars, but like you can't buy anything like big.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
You're talking. You're directly referencing one of the trailers they put out about buying property. Like I think it's your corporate stuff.
It's like you want a car, you want a nice house. Like of course, absolutely.
Because I know from the information that we have on hand, like the to modify cars is in the system, but they're just not implementing it because they know how fucking detrimental it is. You know something that's so fucked up is like GTA 5 back in 2013. Like it had a stock system in the game. Some people don't know it, but it had a stock market in the game. So literally, if you wanted to like make some cash, you could put money into like one of the restaurant stocks, so like Cluck and Bell, and you could directly blow up trucks from their rival, like Burger Shot, and you could affect the stock value in the game and make money. What? You could literally invest in an insurance company. You could invest in Augury Insurance, like the insurance company in the game, and just blow up cars in Los Santos, and the insurance like they would be making fucking, you could drive their stock value higher. It was like one of those tiny things you could do, right? Absolutely.
Like they had an online mode where like you could put money into ammunition, like the fucking gun store in the game, and like if people online just people connected to the internet onto the meta server were just buying gun like ammunition, it would increase the stock. So I was expecting in Cyberpunk, I'm like, maybe they could, like, they have an internet browser, dude. Would it be so cool to, like, fucking invest and, like, pump and dump in this fucking game? But you can't do shit.
It's like the same 5 websites. Like, I think it's like 8 websites that you can really do fuck all with. And it's like, oh, let's check messages. Oh, here's a website thing. Yeah. Fuck. And here's the thing.
It's Far Cry, but, like, it's like a decent Far Cry game is all. Like, that's what I put it at.
Yeah. And one of the weirdest things is one of the statues that came with the collector's edition is literally V with 2 guns on a bike ramming into someone, and you can't shoot with on vehicles at all. And
you can't even dual wield the guns, dude.
You fucking can't, exactly. Bingo, matey. I know. I hope, you know what? I'm the team, like, because I think Cyberpunk is built off like a Witcher engine that's like horribly, like continuously, like iterations on iterations. So
yeah, it can't do like the big city rendering stuff. Absolutely. But what's even wilder is like nothing in that city screams 2077. You know, like you got body modifications.
Exactly.
Where the fuck are the autopilotable cars? Where's the fucking 2077 Tesla that can like street race for you? Like, where the fuck is Daddy Elon telling me level 5 autonomy is in the car?
Another thing is like in the previous, like, because I'm a big fan of the tabletop series itself. Like, Aerodynes appear fucking nowhere. Like, Trauma Team shows up in the flying vehicle to pick up somebody, and that is the only. I take that back. Corpo, the intro sequence to Corpo, is the only other time that you are in a vehicle that's flying. That is the only situation, and that is the biggest like kick in the dick. Like, I know. We can rail on them for fucking days. Like, oh,
how hard would it have been, dude, to have like? How hard would it have been, like in GTA fucking 3? Dude, GTA 1.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you fucking killed a guy. Paramedics showed up and brought him back to life.
Yeah.
Bro, why the fuck is it that if I go to Corpo Plaza, shoot some ritzy dude in the face, Trauma Team isn't flying in like a minute to revive the guy?
Exactly. And
Like,
any crime scene you come across is just a static piece of bullshit. It doesn't appear like, oh, like if I killed someone in the area, there should be just like the detectives with a weird holographic tape. That should just be the situation. Like, oh, I just rinsed a bunch of cunts in this area.
This is on the tabletop series too, right? Like the biggest fucking evil corporate in the game is like Arasaka, right?
Exactly.
And you're like,
Arasaka.
Yeah, you know it. Arasaka's evil, but it's like, yo, Arasaka, dude, they have an entire like fucking 4 like corporate wars with like Militech, and Militech only shows up for like 3 times in the fucking game. And it's like,
for a cup of fucking coffee. Like the entirety of Cyberpunk, the tabletop series, is literally based, or like these giant corporations fighting each other because the cops can't do shit all. It's these Militechs fighting each other. And it never appears.
Have you ever noticed there's no mention of the Gang of 4 in the entire game? No mention of the Gang of 4. There's no NSA, there's no CIA, DEA, FBI at all. There's none of them.
They never explain the divergence point, because we should give people context for him. The Gang of 4 is the reason why there's a split between our quote-unquote universe and the Cyberpunk one, because the Group of 4 is essentially all the US essentially trying to take over. Well, it's the NS. Oh, you just said it as it's
the NUSA or whatever, that like they're the 4 old like fucking guard federal agencies that basically have overtaken the US government.
Exactly, try to take over, and then the entire collapse, and then the dude Knight who built Night City gets the whole. We could talk for days. We could literally talk for days. But I will say,
but it's such good lore.
Absolutely,
it is good. Mike Pondsmith made a fucking amazing franchise that they never took anything from.
I know
it's literally related to the board game in name only. Like, and the thing is, it's like there's no gray. Like, you think in a mature RPG, like I was gonna walk into this basically taking the side of the corpos. Like, if I'm gonna start off as a street guy, of course I want to be the fucking big swanky corpo motherfucker in Militech. You know, I want to be the fucking guy that steps on everyone. That was never an option. It's like, all right, now you have 3 story beats you can start off with, but all of them wind up with you being a street kid. Like, what the fuck?
It's and the whole concept behind the characters in Cyberpunk is you have special abilities. Like nomads that's one of the classes you can pick. They can just summon your family to come in like caravans and start kicking the shit out of people. Never fucking happens. You don't have an ability. You can't be a fucking you can't be a rocker boy and summon an army.
You get like a free fucking car in like the game, but when they should have had the ability for you to call up on your in-game phone and get your buddies to show up and fucking raid with you.
Exactly. And the end game doesn't exist at all in Cyberpunk. Like at the moment, you can't really earn much money outside of like just gangbanging, like going across and seeing like, oh, stars, let's shoot a cunt, steal stuff. There's nowhere to earn money. Like you hit a certain finite point and that's fucking it. So
like it has like decent side quest paths.
Absolutely.
Like, I think the dialogue and a lot of the stuff works really well, but it's just like there's so like, look, as much shit as we give Todd Howard for like how he fucks up in video games sometimes, it's like even in Oblivion, like when I started that game off, I don't think I did the main story. And like I literally as soon as I left the fucking like sewers and they told you to go find Joffrey, I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna go do everything else. I did the main quest right at the end. So it's kind of weird to me how like they made this world and it's like, oh, here's a gang. It's like, here's like the city. It's like you go into the map screen. It's like that sector is owned by the Valentinos. That's owned by the fucking 6th Street gang. And it's like, I can't even join them. What the fuck? They don't even show up.
What's the point? What's the fucking point?
It's all side
It's like they have no identity.
Exactly.
They really don't even have an identity. It's like you think you'd have like, and this is going to sound kind of stereotypical, but you think the Valentinos would be like fucking hardcore gangbangers, hydraulics everywhere, playing fucking Mexican music. But like,
they never do.
No, but like you think they would do? You think they'd be like pushing some fucking drugs on people? Like, you know, you think they'd have good parties, but they don't do that. The 6th Street gangs, they make them out to be like they're fucking some patriotic like NUSA members. They're like, fuck America first and all that, but they never act like that. They never have anything. You talk about making a mature story, and none of these gangs ever even act fucking racial towards you. None of them do. Like, dude, if you're gonna make a game that's not like GTA and a parody, and you want it to be treated seriously, then fucking treat it seriously. You know,
it's
like,
you're right on the fucking money, all the fucking points. Because the blueprint of kind of like San Andreas going forward is this mentality like you do in different areas and you get like the vibe like, oh, they're Valentinos and this is like the Aldecados in this area. At a certain point, it doesn't exist. It just, here's the story.
Like literally, you think on the border points between the map screen, there'd be like some fucking scraps going on. Exactly. And there's like barely anything.
There's like a cup of fucking coffee. Oh, look, motherfuckers in a corner fighting. Fantastic. Like another thing I will say is races exist for one side quest and that's fucking it. And that feels like such a fucking waste of time.
And they're so poorly fucking implemented.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely. Like
I was like, I wanted to have like more of that. I was like, man, I wanted to go up to fucking Tiger Claws and race their shitty little fucking vehicles.
Exactly. The city is built for racing, and you have all this access to the great like vehicles. Why don't we fucking put use like, oh, cool, the one mission that we have. That's it.
There's something that makes GTA, I think, much like the king of open worlds in comparison to like a lot of these other games, is that like in a game like Cyberpunk, people message you and it's like, hey man, I have this like fucking $2 million supercar sitting outside in a lot. Just pick it up whenever you want. Just like transfer me the money.
Yeah.
Fucking unrealistic as fuck, you know? But then like in GTA, it's like, oh, you want that supercar? Whip out your phone, pull up the internet, go to that fucking website, go to the dealership website and buy it. Like that's the kind of shit, like the little details I absolutely love, you know?
Yeah.
Like they intertwine their world and the mechanics so well that it's like, that's what sets them apart. It's like literally like, that's like, it's those mini details again, like opening up Los Santos Customs, and like the sites themselves have their own vibe too. It's all pretentiously made. It's like, hey, you want to fucking spend your millions of dollars on like flashy shit with no like value? Like, go ahead, come here, brother. And like sometimes they even lie about stats on the website, like an actual dealership may. Who fucking knows? It's like the little touches that I love. And in Cyberpunk, it's like nothing about that city screams that it would be in 2077. Like nothing over there screams that like this is their advantage. Like they've got modifications, but it's like you still got to manually fucking drive every car that you're in. So it's like, bro, it feels like the world I live in is more real, more futuristic.
We have a mission that's entirely around a self-driving car, and you never really get to fucking use that like ability at all. Like I think the entire missions that you do with those cars, I don't want to spoil fucking anything.
Oh, Delamain? You can't call Delamain and have him travel you around.
Exactly.
That would be fucking sick.
Exactly.
Like Delamain, it's like, oh, you get to drive the Delamain vehicle. I'm like, motherfucker, I wanted to autopilot me. Like, at least make an autopilot. But that would mean they'd have to code a fucking traffic system, and you know they didn't do that shit whatsoever.
It's not like they had to. It's not like they had to fucking rush it either. It's like they've had all this time. So what the fuck were they doing?
I remember like people were saying 9 years. People were, dude, the thing about it is like, remember when the whole discourse was like, gamers gave them death threats? I'm like, all right, give me one example of a fucking death threat that's ever actually convinced a game developer to release their shit ahead of time.
Exactly.
They had investors, and like, you have investors, and sure, you have to release when the investors kind of, you know, poke you to. But like, you've also fucked up development. You were like, you know what's more important than a game? Having Keanu Reeves. And look, I like Keanu Reeves, but like, dude, if he was the reason Cyberpunk got fucked, man, fuck Keanu. Then.
Well, dude, the entirety of the mission based around Johnny is literally Johnny mnemonic, like 1-to-1. If you watch the movie and the book, well, it's just 1-to-1. It's unfortunate, but I will say it's fucking bizarre that Watchdogs Legion is more cyberpunk than Cyberpunk. And that breaks me. That breaks me a little bit. But you know what? He's fucking hoping that at one point Cyberpunk 2077 lives up to it.
You know what Watchdogs has as Cyberpunk doesn't? Self-driving.
Exactly. You can jump in a car and just let it go, and you have high hacking abilities. It's intense, and also London is a hellhole. I will say, Jesus Christ.
Dude, London and Watchdogs looks better than Night City.
Absolutely.
My personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But driving in that place is a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking hellspawn, but
people were shitting on Legion, man, but like I feel like I remember like I was watching a few reviews from like the gaming channels that I usually hit up, and they're like, Watchdogs Legions is uninspired, and I'm like, oh yeah, but fucking Night City isn't? Like what? This city at least has a fucking cop system that responds to you. Like shit, what do you want me to say?
Exactly. And all spider bots in both games. One is only a one fucking mission deal. Well, a 1.5 mission deal. And the other one, Legion, you can fuck around and have so much fun with robots. The
only thing that Legion missed out on, man, was like the fact that you couldn't black out the city.
Exactly.
Remove that. Shit was amazing.
You can only do that with fucking Aiden, and when the DLC was released like fucking 5 years fucking later. Like Aiden's literally ability to just like click everything off. Like cool. It's like, why don't you bring that to the first one? It's like, oh no, because fucking remember the guy with the mask? He's poggers. Cool.
Dude, I remember like even in when Watch Dogs 1 came out, like when I was recently replaying those games again, because I really like Watch Dogs 1, like as much shit as it got when it came out. That still blows me away how like you can just like in a button like completely kill the Chicago power grid, and it looks so fucking good to this day. Yeah. Like all the lights start flickering and it's just boom, gone. Like shit. Watch Dogs 2, like they updated, but you know.
A lot of like I will say, Watch Dogs Legion's system had some of the most intense storytelling that you could do on like a personal level. Like for people who don't know, in Watchdogs Legion, you don't have like a set protagonist. You can just recruit people. And I had a team which was a secret, like a spy, like essentially a James Bond like character, and a construction worker, and having the ability to like summon a fucking sky drone, jumping on it and get into a building and stuff. Kind of it like created like a native story right off the bat that I inadvertently created by myself. Like shooting cunts with a nail gun is fun, but having a spy vehicle smash into people, it's always fun. It's always fun.
There's also a little bit of the second one. I remember there's like some weird stuff with the tone in that one.
Yeah,
where you're a bunch of like scrappy hacker guys.
Yeah,
but you're 3D printing guns.
I initially hated the millennial ones in the beginning of the second game. By the end of it, you just kind of like really get attached to them. Yeah. Though it's like, oh,
the foundation of
Dead Sec take down fake Scientology.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Fucking, it was all a riff on everything. They had like it was fun because they went the full like parody route. So like everyone, like Google was Noodle in that game. Tesla or SpaceX was like Galileo or some shit, and they were just ripping on them. Wait, is it
fun?
Yeah,
video games are fun. Franchise. I like video games, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I do.
You know what? He's hoping this coming year is full of some good ones because I can
like maybe Cyberpunk will get there. Like they'll figure it out.
I'll
know.
play it again when it gets an update for the next gen systems. But until then, I'm just gonna leave it sitting there. I've been playing through Elden Ring actually. I got it hacked on my system.
Oh, is that the newest YouTube video that you put out with the lovely Knuckles, the Echidna? That fucking video.
Oh no! I can't release any footage. It's the network test, but they got it hacked running, so you can play it indefinitely.
I guess you can.
So it's just but not only that, but they actually removed some of the fog walls, so you can do a little bit more in it than you could before. And it's fucking dude. Elden Ring might probably be like if it plays this good already, I can be excited for it being my like personal game of the year.
Well, you know what?
I look forward to finding time for it.
Exactly. You know what? I agree with Charles' statement before. I like video games, and hopefully cyberpunk shit as a genre will get better and better. And so, otherwise, we're all fucked.
This is like the happiest you've ever been, Tom.
I love talking about cyberpunk. It is one of my favorite things to fuck with.
In an alternate universe,
I think you've ever been.
In an alternate universe, Tom, Cyberpunk is made by Rockstar Games. And Rockstar was like fucking. They were like, "Oh shit, you want us to make it? Oh, we'll show you a city."
That's a dream, baby.
That's a dream. Do some shit, right? Yeah.
True.
Maybe Rockstar will get the Shadowrun license.
Oh. You know, the thing with Rockstar is like even if they make a fucking like we like to shit on GTA Online and Red Dead Online with how fucking ass they are in terms of monetization, the single player is always a fucking banger though. Like they never skimp out on that at all. Like Red Dead 2, beautiful fucking game single player.
It is.
Online, absolute dog shit.
Absolutely.
Like, fucking don't even waste your time.
Imagine if they rebooted Oni. They got it off Bungie. Maybe Bungie still owns it. The concept? Oh no, let me just check.
I think
maybe they'll bring back Space Station Silicon Valley.
So it was developed by Bungie and published by Take-Two and Rockstar. So it's always a possibility coming back. But
I could always do with another Max Payne game.
Oh yeah. Jesus, that's excessive.
Go all the way back to Body Harvest. Let's do Body Harvest 2.
Oh, you know what? You know what Rockstar would do? They would like in GTA 6, whenever that comes out, they would probably put like Body Harvest somewhere in. It's like one of the games you could play on the consoles. They could do with San Andreas. That's something they should do. Absolutely. It would be crazy if they could put the original 2 GTAs in. Just fucking as a way to play it.
Just fucking around. Well, they did that with Homefront did with fucking Time Splitters 2 and 3. Like, I think they only found out recently how there's an entire remaster of the 2 and 3 Time Splitters.
Yeah. On the whole Revolution, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And they're working on hopefully getting a full one. But you know what? He's hoping for 2022 being a good year for video games, because obviously we had the deluge stuff. But Mr. Mutahar, what's on the cards for the podcast in the future and also the videos? Obviously we know EDP's on the card.
We plan to be number 10.
Rock and roll.
To be top 10.
Top 10, baby.
It'll
I think that's very
really,
possible.
Because you hit like top 90 like the first week or something.
What was
I think you guys were like Muta's one of those guys.
Belgium or some shit?
Yeah, we're in like
Muta's
fucking,
one of those guys
Poland
who just has
literally the episode where we were talking about dildos. did so well in Saudi Arabia for some reason. I'm like, shit.
Sheesh.
I guess they really like dildos.
Seems like they're into it.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's either they're into it or they don't even know what the fuck a dildo is. And they're like, oh, cool.
Research.
Now let's Google this.
Yeah, all a bunch of chic dudes like finding out what dildos are.
Well.
The fucking king over there is like talking about dildos to his friends, and I was like, I was watching this American piece of media, and they were talking about little sticks that you can buy on Amazon.
He says he is an ordinary gamer. But he talks about his penis.
Oh, sick dicks, yeah.
The best NFT project I've ever seen. Not really.
Umpa's buying them.
Buy one,
Jesus.
I know. I'm about to. I think when he buys them, I'm gonna buy like the 50% of the lot. I'm gonna buy 50% of all stick dick NFTs.
just hold them off. But
well, it's got like it's like being traded right now. Volume traded 29 Ethereum, so it's got money flowing around in it.
Dicks out for the boys, indeed. But speaking of dicks out, Charles, what's happening on Twitch? Fuck me.
Oh, brother, you know me. I'm always doing stuff.
Absolutely.
I am dicks out on Twitter. The masked bastard. I am.
I saw the YouTube streams.
Doing the YouTube, Twitch streams. Yeah. You know, I'm a little bit of a gamer. I like old games. I feel like I can hang with an old game. These new open world games, it's like, it's too much for me.
That's right.
I'm too old.
Too old for that shit.
I can shoot a cage and set a tiger loose on some guys, but I don't care about their storyline. I don't care.
Fair play.
I'll skip through it.
But dearest son, what's on the cab for you, matey?
I don't know.
Well, it's a new year. It's a new year.
I do. I have like
things in the
that
books
should be coming. I don't even know when this is coming out, so it probably will already be out by the time this is uploaded.
Exactly.
And then I'm working on something with Vince Vintage, who would probably is going to be coming on pretty soon too. So that's going on.
Rock and roll, fantastic. So,
yeah,
well,
that's it.
That's the plan. Yes. Mm-hmm. Currently at the moment, I'm working on Cyberpunk shit, so this is just a perfect conversation to fucking have. But I'm currently a producer on a Cyberpunk game at the moment through Patreon, so that's getting that stuff sorted. I'm actually starting an NDA at the moment. But I think hopefully, this next year's the era of more Cyberpunk shit that isn't completely homogenized to fucking hell and back. His fingers fucking crossed. But yeah.
Hopefully everything works out real well. I'm literally about to buy a stick dicks right now. I'm actually buying my first NFT in like forever.
Living the dream, baby. But mate, I want to thank you so very much for this fucking excellent conversation. Cool, I literally get to talk to no one about Cyberpunk, so this is like a fucking dream.
I know this was like
when you mentioned this
for him. That's why I just let you go, because it's like this is fucking Tom Christmas.
When Muta mentioned the Gang of Four, my brain was like, yes, finally somebody.
I knew you were like creaming, so I was like, I'm just gonna let them just do their thing.
Exactly, for an extra episode of Real Weird Sickos. But yes, I hope everyone had a fucking good New Year's. Fucking, I ended up playing Batman, so it's fine. But yes, if you want to go and check out, I know everyone knows Muta, but I'll go through the top of it. If you want to follow my main man Muta on Twitter, it is some like ordinary gamer, correct?
Yes. Ordinary gamers.
Yeah, and YouTube is Some Ordinary Gamer, and also the podcast. Got it. I will say that fucking episode when you fucking brought up stick dicks, it got to me to the point where like fucking it's like, damn it, I want fucking one. There's so many topics that I think.
Yeah, we should have been the ambassadors. For
exactly.
That, so we should have been the one fucking.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta check it out. It is Some Ordinary Podcast. Go and check it out there. It is on YouTube and Spotify or wherever you get your fucking podcast game in the fuck it is, son. I will say you with Stephen just talking stuff. It's just it's always a good time. So by the time this comes out, so many more fucking episodes come out. I'm not gonna pretend. There's definitely a whole bunch for you to check out. So again, thanks so much, Rudolph. Exactly. Big thanks.
It's great to be on here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure from the bottom of my heart. So from my dearest friends, Mutahar, Jen, Charles, and myself, I hope you guys have a fantastic 2022. Otherwise, have an okay one. You know what? No real rush. Fucking shit's gonna be fucked. Just keep it easy. No, absolutely. Keep it weird. Keep it sick. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.